So who the fuck is Alistair? And why I'm recording this video? I'm recording this video because I want you to get into resonance with that dude on the other side of the camera. I'm born September 10, 1979 into a small community. I'm mentioning that because as a child, since very early childhood, I've always been remembering that rupture, that difference between like my family and the others, like us versus them, an alternative lifestyle versus mainstream society. And one of my first childhood experiences that I'm often mentioning, that you need to understand that person, that tattooed dude, to look through the different layers of my personality, is that I burned my left upper leg when I was only 2 years and 8 months old. So that's my really the first childhood experience. And being that traumatized child, I sort of like was trying to get away from all these deep emotions, and it took me a long time of therapy in my adulthood to dig through that, to cut through that Gordian knot and ultimately be able to hold that, like, let's say, life force running through me and live my highest potential. So that was, let's say, the first falling down and standing up. As you know from the Japanese proverb, fall down 7, stand up 8. And my life has been marked by a lot of coincidences like that. A second one that happened was when I was just entering school. Chernobyl happened, that great catastrophe in Ukraine. And coming from a gardener's family, I was told the truth as a child that there was actually a nuclear catastrophe and that we were not able to eat our own produce, which really shocked me as a child. I was in first class, so I started reading a lot of books, and I really got terribly frightened to read through all these nuclear overkill capacities. Remember, that was back in the 80s when the Pershings got installed in Germany. I'm mentioning all this because you will always recognize that intensity of mine. As a child, I was pretty depressed. I was very anxious. I got all these post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms. I got nightmares, panic attacks. I was very clingy with my parents. And the other side was always, of course, playing that cool dude. And it took me quite a while in my adulthood to put all these different parts inside of myself together. So fast forward, I became a ballet dancer. I moved to boarding school from a small Bavarian town to Berlin when I was only 12 and a half years old. So in boarding school, I loved that. I was very good at dancing, was performing all the solo roles, but ultimately that dream of mine collapsed when I was around about 16. And it took me again quite a while to dig through that. Because imagine your whole life you want to become a ballet dancer, and then you hit a wall, you hit that glass ceiling, and no possibility, whatever you want to do, you can't do it. Fast forward, I was studying macroeconomics, sociology, psychology, and law in university as one integrated study, so I was always interested in understanding that macro perspective. And when I was 24, I stumbled upon the meta theory of Ken Wilber. More on that in a separate video. I'm mentioning that because I think to be able to dig through these gazillions of stimulus to that hyper-complex reality out there, we need a proper map. And I was actually very happy that I found that map. So I never really become addicted to the guru. I'm always saying I'm a heretic, which means that I think there's a nugget, there's a truth in it, but I think we always need to be critical to putting someone up on a pedestal and saying, okay, he got it. The fun thing is he himself is mentioning that the map itself is never the territory. Fast forward, since I'm 41 now, is the last 14 years I've been working as a social entrepreneur and try to find that sweet spot where my passion meets my purpose, where I really deliver a value add, really make a difference with the projects that I'm manifesting, all while having fun and enjoying my life, not stressing myself out. So that's me in a nutshell. I hope you had fun watching it, and I hope we could create that resonance that it usually takes, to meet one-on-one, but through that medium via video, maybe you had a glimpse of that dude called Alistair. Thank you for your